When you are not on camera, do you shake hands and smile and joke? Do you? No?
No.
Will you shake hands for me today?
No.
No? Okay.
Positions. I saw yesterday you were all sat in the ring. You were sort of sat next to each other. Have you two spoken to each other, or do you just give a little glance, look away?
Of course not spoken.
No?
Not speak, yeah.
It's fight week for Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev in the greatest boxing card of the 21st century, and the main event fighters are ensuring the fight lives up to the hype with their most recent confrontation. Both fighters have expressed their anonymity in their unwillingness to shake hands or act friendly towards each other.
Beterbiev versus Bivol. The Undefeated.
But they've now taken their feud a bit physical, as they both got out of character amidst their media duties on Monday. They clashed as they went around for interviews, and then Artur Beterbiev provoked Dmitry Bivol and forced a fierce reaction out of him, which hardly made any sense to Bivol. In return, Bivol attempted to push him off his face, which called the attention of those around them, and they quickly pulled them apart to avoid any more chaos. It's fight week, and the pair would have to meet over and over again as they build up to their main event fight on Saturday night.
Out the bag. Do you anticipate him being more aggressive from the get-go?
Yeah, well, probably he could be more aggressive from the beginning, maybe. I don't know, I'm just expecting that he will be better on all positions.
It's a bloody clash of revenge and fury from Dmitry Bivol, who has been given yet another chance to cement his status as a worthy world champion. He needs to remind the boxing world why he was only the second fighter after boxing legend Floyd Mayweather to defeat Canelo Alvarez. And Bivol definitely has the level of anger and madness needed to do this. Over and over again, he has been outspoken with how unhappy he is with himself after such a performance in the first fight.
And you were okay with it? Why was that?
Because I didn't like my job.
You didn't like the way that you performed in the ring that night?
Yeah, I
You knew
didn't.
that immediately?
Yeah, I knew that it was some doubt.
While many watch the fight and see Dmitry Bivol as the rightful winner, the fighter has never watched the fight in the light. Rather than score the fight in his favor, he tries to figure out mistakes and lapses in his fighting style that saw him damage his undefeated boxing record. This time, Bivol is ready to set the record straight and do to Beterbiev what Beterbiev had done to him. He needs to become the first man to defeat the first man that defeated him. His mind definitely will be fixed on the championship rounds, hoping to get nothing wrong this time.
Championship of the world, courtesy of Riyadh Arena.
Ahead of the fight, Dmitry Bivol is only embracing the present, and rightfully so, considering a high-stakes rematch is on deck against undisputed light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev. The future is looking bright and incredibly meaningful for Bivol as he looks to avenge the lone loss of his career. With a win, he can set himself up for a trilogy fight against Beterbiev and even pursue lucrative matchups against the likes of Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez, or Jai Opetaia. But for now, Bivol has tunnel vision and is focused on Beterbiev as they headline The Last Crescendo, Riyadh Seasons show in Saudi Arabia on Saturday.
My punches to break this wall. I was throwing it to target, because with guys like him, if you're trying to break the wall, you could be catching the trap.
It's too much information. Beterbiev trilogy, Canelo, Benavidez, moving up to cruiserweight for Opetaia, Bivol said with a hearty laugh in an interview with The Ring. It's not necessary to think about it right now, and it's not helping me to think about my next fight. Anything can happen. Maybe cruiserweight, why not? We have an amazing weight class at light heavyweight. And cruiserweight is also nice right now. It's not exciting at all about the potential of fighting Alvarez, to be honest. I'm just not thinking about it. I don't care who I fight or when I fight after February 22nd. I don't care. I'm just excited about February 22nd. I have business right now with Beterbiev. After this, if I have an offer, it doesn't matter who it is. I will think about it. We will see.
Asked about rematch, I said, yes, I want. He said, I have this date. I said, yeah, okay.
We've seen little...
According to DraftKings, Beterbiev is listed as a minus 125 betting favorite, and Bivol is a plus 100 underdog. Odds makers have Beterbiev listed at plus 220 to score a stoppage win. Bivol was able to handle Beterbiev's power the first time out and became the only fighter to hear the final bell against Beterbiev. "Of course, his punches are naturally harder," said Bivol. "Other fighters put effort into making their punches hard. He doesn't put too much effort into hitting hard." Bivol faded late in the first fight, and he said he needs to be faster, have more endurance, and throw more punches than Beterbiev in the rematch, but he doesn't believe he needs a knockout to win.
Did you feel that your power hand was as effective as you wanted it to be? Or was it like banging on an anvil?
No, he's like a wall, to be honest. I didn't throw my punches.
Beterbiev, who won a decision over Bivol in their first meeting, says he's looking forward to defending his titles and improving his performance. Talking about beating Bivol a second time will feel as good as going undisputed the first time, the undisputed world light heavyweight champion. For a fight, yes, the same. That time I want to grab all the belts, now I want to defend them. On how his ailing knee felt during first fight, from the first fight is a little bit before the fight, it's like 4 months, 3 months. I was not perfect at that time, but now it is better. Close to perfect.
It's another experience for me. We'll see. We're getting ready.
Do you feel the difference of not having the injuries though?
He was also asked if his first fight against Dmitry Bivol was his toughest fight. He said, "If you compare went to decision, yes, you can say it's toughest fight, but it's a little bit different. I think in my boxing career I aced more strong guys, but it's different. But you can say it's the toughest fight." On why he refuses to shake hands his opponents during pre-fight build-ups, Artur Beterbiev responded,
"Yeah, it's a little bit better, yeah."
Mark also said to me that if you had another round, maybe 2 rounds, you would have stopped Dmitry in the first fight. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like the fight was going that way?
If he say that.
It's very simple, you know? Like, for example, we have a fight tomorrow night. You want to beat me? You want to punch me as hard as you can? Why do I give a shake? During an interview shortly after suffering his first loss, he revealed what he wished he would have done differently. "I want to improve more with my movements, but I didn't move enough. I felt I had to move more. I had to do more counterpunches. I just need to add more. I felt some moments where I could do it, but I was a little bit careful. I was just trying to find the perfect moment. I was trying, but I couldn't. I just had to act, not just waiting. I just had to act, but I didn't." Bivol was also asked about Beterbiev's punching power. Although he wasn't taken aback by it, he did admit that he was a bit surprised that all of Beterbiev's punches in the combination are heavy.
Because obviously there is a weight difference. I know there's a weight difference. Or is there a different type of power?
It's different. Canelo using singles.
Surprisingly, Canelo Alvarez came to mind for Bivol while answering that question. He concedes that Canelo has more power in a single punch than Beterbiev, but the Russian was born strong and can sustain his punching power for longer in a given combination. Beterbiev may have the power advantage in the end, but Bivol believes he doesn't use all of it due to his strategy. The renowned boxer Dmitry Bivol shared in an interview his perspective on facing 2 of the most feared fighters today, Artur Beterbiev and Canelo Alvarez. During an interview, Bivol spoke about the emotions he experienced while preparing for a fight against Beterbiev and the comparison between the styles and punches of both fighters. His comments shed light on how he perceives the differences in technique and power between the 2 champions.
Single punch, yeah. He put full his energy and he punched once and it's hurt also. Beterbiev, he's strong.
Bivol began by explaining how emotions can influence a fight, noting that many boxers who face Canelo Alvarez allowed their emotions to take over. "A lot depends on your emotions," he explained. For Bivol, emotions play a crucial role in a boxer's performance, and he pointed out that if not properly controlled, they can prevent a fighter from reaching their full potential in the ring. Describing his confrontation with Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol acknowledged that there was a certain aura around the Russian fighter, often described as a monster inside the ring. However, far from feeling intimidated, Bivol admitted he felt excited about the challenge of fighting someone of Beterbiev's caliber.
He's and he's using a lot of heavy punches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's...
"I was excited. I was trying to use the right emotions about it," he said. Despite Beterbiev's intimidating image, Bivol felt prepared to face him and confident he could handle the pressure. Regarding Beterbiev's punching power, Bivol commented that while his punches were strong, they weren't necessarily dangerous due to the force of a single blow, but rather because of the accumulation of his combinations. Beterbiev, according to Dmitry Bivol, doesn't rely on a single punch with all his energy, as Canelo does.
It's uncomfortable also.
Bivol pointed out that the Russian fighter opts for maintaining a steady rhythm in his combinations, unlike the Mexican who puts all his power into individual punches. Just, yeah, a hard punch, nothing else, you know? It's not about one heavy punch and being very dangerous. No, it's about how strong he is. It's not just one punch, he's trying to throw combinations. Every punch in the combination is heavy, yeah. You know, it's not like with Canelo where he puts all his energy and power into a single punch. When comparing Beterbiev to Canelo, Bivol commented, "Maybe Canelo's single punch is harder sometimes, yeah, than Beterbiev." Although surprising to many, Bivol explained that the difference lies in each fighter's strategy.
I could compare like with the Canelo, yeah? He put all his energy, all his power on a single punch. And yeah, maybe single punch.
Canelo looks for the right distance to land a punch that concentrates all his energy, while Beterbiev is more compact in his fighting style. Because Beterbiev doesn't do that. Beterbiev was more compact with a tight guard. But if you ask them to throw 5 punches, every one of Beterbiev's punches will be hard. With Canelo, maybe the first one is hard, but then not so much, yeah. Both of them are strong, but Beterbiev is bigger. And he was born strong, yeah, he's just physically a bigger guy. Along those lines, Dmitry Bivol continued to explain the difference between Beterbiev and Canelo's punches. He also analyzed and pointed out why he considers a single punch from Canelo to be stronger than one from Beterbiev.
Sometimes he's harder, Canelo, yeah. Beterbiev was more like close and yeah, compact. Beterbiev, every punch will be hard.
Yeah, because when Canelo lands his punch, he's doing it from a distance, trying to put all his energy into it. Beterbiev is not doing this in the ring, but if we asked him to, maybe his punch would be harder. But he's not using it, Bivol explained. Bivol also reflected on weight classes, highlighting that although Canelo is a small 168, his strength is still remarkable. This shows that Canelo is a strong guy too, Bivol stated, noting that both fighters have different but equally dangerous strengths. Finally, when asked about his strategy when facing opponents like Beterbiev and Canelo, Bivol revealed that he draws inspiration from boxing legends such as Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali.
Every punch will be hard. With Canelo, maybe first hard and then not, yeah.
This reflects his technical approach and desire to use movement and intelligence in the ring rather than relying solely on brute strength. Dmitry Bivol's career continues to attract attention in the boxing world, and his comparisons between Beterbiev and Canelo offer a unique insight into two of today's most powerful champions. With admiration for past legends and the ability to manage emotions inside the ring, Bivol continues to demonstrate why he is one of the most respected boxers of his generation. Their most recent feud brings to mind the first conference before their fight some months ago. Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev carried no iota of their shared nationality when they met in a press conference ahead of the fight. As expected, there were little words thrown around between the fighters. The atmosphere was mostly silent and intense, as the pair muttered a few sentences and promised to do their talking in the ring.
Everybody, and of course to His Excellency Turkey, I will shake hand, Riyadh and Saudi, because they are making the great.
The exchange of words between the pair was straight and direct. "I talk with my fights. That's where we do business," Artur Beterbiev said. And when it was time for Bivol's retort, Dmitry Bivol responded,
"Who's gonna make this fight?" And Saudi Arabia, they will make this fight. And thank you for this. Of course, I'm happy because when
I've got nothing to say to him. He knows what he's ready for. I know it too. It's gonna be bloody. But for Dmitry Bivol's promoter, Eddie Hearn, and Beterbiev's promoter as well, the press conference would have lacked much activity. But guess what? It's exactly what the fans want to see.
All of the belts.
When you look across, down the table, at Artur Beterbiev, 20 fights, 20 wins, 20 knockouts, do you see the...
When it was time for their face-off, the two fighters walked boldly to the stage and stared down at each other. Their stare down carried with it 2 undefeated records, an undisputed world title at hand, a nation of dominance, and 2 fighters with the needed skill, IQ, and boxing experience.
these thoughts help me to be in focus, to be serious in my training camp, and of course he's one of the dangerous opponents, even if we see on his records.
Dmitry Bivol is the more active fighter, and it's clear he's hardly taken a break since facing Artur Beterbiev. He's well ready for the fight and can't wait for his next big opportunity after Canelo Alvarez. His win over Canelo announced him to the world, but this will even cement his name in the history books forever. It can only get more intense from here.
On his fights, he's powerful, and it makes me more excited to fight against this guy because I love challenges.
As if a 20-0 start with 20 knockouts and 3 light heavyweight belts isn't enough of a feat, Artur Beterbiev in the last presser apparently set out to record a world record for fewest words spoken at a press conference by a major boxing headliner. The beautiful part of the news conference in London to formally introduce the participants in the supposed battle in Saudi Arabia for the undisputed 175-pound title was that Beterbiev actually struck the defining chord of the event. Words are not needed.
Do you have a message for Dmitry Bivol now that he's here?
He know already.
Dmitry, Artur Beterbiev says
the 39-year-old Beterbiev stood as the most devastating and diabolical combatant in the sport's heavier weights, relying on a nasty disposition and bullying spirit to systematically break down his foes. With former world champions Callum Smith, Joe Smith Jr., and Alexander Gvozdyk claimed in the wreckage. That said, Beterbiev now encounters a Russian countryman who may embody his kryptonite. World Boxing Association champion Dmitry Bivol is the 2022 Boxing Writers Association of America Fighter of the Year, a crown secured via a convincing victory that stripped the title of pound-for-pound king from Mexico's Canelo Alvarez.
That you know already. What is it that you know?
I don't know already.
We know. I tell you, no. For sure.
Boxing is more about class, IQ, style, and skills, Bivol manager Vadim Kornilov said in defending his fighter's pedigree on stage. Bivol's sophisticated style belies his own strength, and frankly, if Alvarez were any other light heavyweight, he might well have been dropped by the sustained barrage of blows that Bivol planted upon him in that May 2022 bout. Although the official scorecards on the night read 115-113 in the Russians' favor, few thought the contest was that close, and many assumed the cards were warped by the preconceived notion of who was supposed to win the Cinco de Mayo weekend bout in Las Vegas. The press conference MC described Bivol Beterbiev as a match pitting the best pure boxer in the world versus the most destructive puncher in the world. And Bivol promoter Eddie Hearn argued that what his fighter brings to the fight makes it one of the purest matches in the sport, the best fight in boxing.
As Vadim says, his boxing IQ is on another level, and it needs to be against, as Todd said, one of the most dangerous men in the sport of boxing. Artur Beterbiev is a wrecking machine.
Hyperbole on a news conference stage is often an exercise in eye-rolling, but this one feels authentic. Beyond the consequences of who can stand as undisputed champion is the matter of who awaits. Canelo, David Benavidez, a rematch? But what matters most is who will win and how. Beterbiev's promoter, top-ranked president Todd Duboeuf, kept his point simple regarding why his guy would win. "I've been a fan of destruction, and this guy's all about destruction," Duboeuf said. "My friends call me during his fights and ask, who is this monster? Look at his body of work. Nobody lasts 12 rounds with him."
Potentially in the sport. When he beat Canelo Alvarez, who was a clear pound-for-pound #1 in the sport, I don't think he actually got the credit that he deserved, and he did that with consummate ease.
Former world champion and boxing commentator Tim Bradley, in making his prediction, said, "My original pick before Beterbiev needed surgery was a Bivol win. He has better footwork, defense, an incredible jab, and sharp counters."
Then you try to attack or try to make up for that loss of space, and then you throw it at your hands go, and that dude counters you. Bing, bing, bing. Get out of here. Then he walks away.
Revealing his prediction, he said, if he can keep the fight in the center of the ring without being too stationary for Beterbiev's mid-range to inside attacks, he should win. However, it's easier said than done, but I will go with Bivol, said Desert Storm. Speaking about the contest to Fight Hub TV, former multi-weight champion turned Golden Boy Promotions CEO Oscar De La Hoya predicted a win for Bivol given his skills.
It's a very unique style. I would have to give Dmitry Bivol the advantage here a little bit because he has better footwork, you know. Beterbiev kind of like just...
It's a very unique style. I would have to give Dmitry Bivol the advantage here a little bit because he has the better footwork. Beterbiev stalks you down, but with Bivol, he's constantly bam, bam, bam. He's a good boxer, man, with power. But he has skill up here. It's a tough fight to call, but I'm going to have to give Dmitry the advantage. It's all about respect in the first few rounds, how he's going to take his punch if he has a chin.
He's a good boxer, man, with power, and he's got skill up here. It's a tough fight to call. But I'm going to have to give Dmitry the advantage.
I think Beterbiev has a better chin than Bivol. For some reason, I just feel that I don't know if it's true. If Bivol can offset him, get him off balance with his footwork, it could be a long night for Beterbiev. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.